Hello and welcome to Kirkaby Overfield at Augustana College here in Sioux Falls. Tom Neiman along with Jason and Dara, and this is our first-time coverage of a first-time event here. Jason, the rise above the Region 7-on-7 high school football tournament. Explain what 7-on-7 football is.
It's a little different than football, but it gives you the flavor of football. Teams can work on their passing. Teams love to work on their defense against passing. Those are the two big pluses about playing a 7-on-7 drill.
All right, we got teams from North Dakota and South Dakota here. Mandan and Fargo South have come down from North Dakota to take on some of the Sioux Falls area teams, plus Yankton and Pierre are here. And basically you get rid of the linemen, and you have a format where you go from the 40-yard line on in. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But here's what's going to go on in the show here. We've got some team highlights. Explain what else we're going to have in the show here.
Highlights from all the teams that are here, interviews with some of the top players, all of the coaches. We'll have packages on all the teams. We'll show you the best plays of the day. A lot of games going on today. We'll take a look at some of the top prospects and also the Riggs Combine that happened earlier in April with highlights of that and just everything you could ask for to get you ready for football in the fall.
All right, as you said, this event was a brainchild of Jason and Dara and Curtis Riggs from the Curtis Riggs Academy as a part of Sanford's health complex out here in Sioux Falls. And standing by with Curtis Riggs, here is Alex Heiner.
Thanks, guys. Well, Coach, a big day for the Sanford Power Riggs Premier Football Academy. Talk about, just in brief, what went into getting this event to take place.
Well, it's been a work in progress, and it was actually Jason and Dara at Midco was instrumental. We do 7-on-7 at the academy, and he talked about what about having a tournament? What about doing something, bringing some teams from, we tried to focus mainly I-29, but we were able to get Pierre, Mandan in here and try to have a competitive aspect to the 7-on-7.
This is a drill, obviously, that a lot of these kids do in practice leading up to the season. What are some things, though, they're going to take away from this and bring to Friday nights in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's the rare opportunity for them to actually work the passing game. So often we get so much pressure. Quarterbacks don't get a chance to go through a progression or read, and you don't get a chance to evaluate the skill sets. So now we give them a chance where they're in a controlled environment. They can throw. And it's really fun. They have a lot of fun. It's very competitive, and they get to score a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, you can tell they've enjoyed that atmosphere a lot today. Last thing for you, we're getting ready for the championship game. 3 sets of games in. What have you seen so far, and what do you expect for this last round of games?
Well, I think, kind of the teams that you expected are in there. Roosevelt, very deep, very talented. And then Washington has kind of been a surprise. I think they have a lot of talent, but what they do offensively has been a question for people. So it'll be interesting to see how the two teams fare today.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Curtis. All right, back to you guys.
All right, Jason, these teams should be thanking you a little bit, I think, for putting this thing together.
Well, it wasn't just me. Ryan Knutson, big shout out to him as well.
All right, as we said, 8 teams here in the inaugural tournament, and more on the setup here is JL.
All right, thanks, guys. Let's take a look now at how we got here and how this whole thing is set up. There are 2 divisions, 4 teams in each division, and they are the black and blue division. Seems appropriate for this kind of game. But in the black division, Roosevelt High School from Sioux Falls, Yankton, Lincoln High School from Sioux Falls, and Fargo South. In the blue division, Pierre, Washington High School from Sioux Falls, O'Gorman, and Mandan. Now, 2 teams survived pool play, which took place this morning with undefeated record. For the black side, that was Sioux Falls Roosevelt, who made, of course, last year's 11th AAA championship game, losing to Sioux Falls Lincoln. But the Riders come out 3-0 in pool play. And on the other side, another Sioux Falls school, Washington, looked very good in pool play this morning and earned their trip with a last-second win in their final pool play game. That's how the Warriors stamped their ticket. But overall, that's how these 2 teams got here, and it sets the stage for what should be a very quality championship contest.
All right, thanks, Jay. Here is how you play 7-on-7 football. 25-minute halves. The clock does run continuously. You start at the 40-yard line, 7 players per team, no running plays. And to get a guy down, you just play one-hand touch football. You got 4 seconds to get rid of the football, Jandy, or it's a loss of down.
And also a big part of this game, a non-contact game. That means no blocking, no tackling, and they take that very seriously.
You can get 1 first down if you reach the 20-yard line. And the scoring, 6 points for a touchdown. You can get 6 points for an interception if you take it back. You get 3 for an interception if you just take a knee, and then you get possession for your team. So here's Washington in the orange, Roosevelt in their maroon. And Washington, again, got here, beat Pierre, beat O'Gorman, beat Mandan in their 3 pool games.
Unique thing about this game is we've got some players mic'd up. In fact, we've got a microphone in the huddle. Let's take a listen to the play call.
Right, orange, right. All right. Raven, you two doing Raven. Okay, Michael, you're gonna do a post inside the vert and do a post. Okay, to the right. You guys over
Like a
here
corner?
want slant and swing. Okay?
Post corner or just a post?
Yeah, he's doing a post corner.
Okay. I'm 1-on-1, right? Corner.
So you see Washington with their play call. They took a little longer to get their plays called, especially early in this game.
Jack Skellhouse is the senior quarterback here. And that is a first down, I believe. They got it across the 20-yard line, so you can get one first down on a drive. That's Michael Enels, who's going to play a little bit both ways, it sounds like, this year for the Warriors, the linebacker and on offense as well.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, Washington really looking for some playmakers this year. That's the one thing that they lacked last season, was getting some big sparks on offense. So this is a nice format here to find out who's going to be able to provide those sparks.
Kim Nelson, the Roosevelt head coach, he embraces this thing. Not all coaches do, but he really embraces this event, as do these other 7 teams.
We did. We asked a lot of teams, just giving them their ideas on what happens if we put a tournament like this together. And some people, they just want to shy away from that 7-on-7 drill. But the 7-on-7 drill works really well for Roosevelt. And you're right, he embraces it not only offensively but defensively.
Washington did bring a center here as well, Jandy. That's one of the Farniak brothers.
Yeah, Will Farniak is kind of moving inside the center this season. He's going to see a lot of reps just like that, getting that shotgun snap down.
All right, so it's basically second down now here for Washington. They've got to get it into the end zone in 3 more plays if they want to score on this drive to open things up.
All day long, we've seen a lot of touchdowns, a lot of people going for those plays in the end zone. And that's a great format. Again, a great reason to watch 7-on-7 is to see how these guys do one-on-one against defense and break open for those big scoring plays.
That'll work. That's Jaden Fitzsimmons, and he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown on that little dump out to the left side from Jack Skellhouse.
Well, you don't see running plays in 7-on-7 format, but you do see the dump-off passes in emergency situations. And that's exactly what Jack Skellhouse did. He has 4 seconds to throw, and just before that 4 seconds, finds Fitzsimmons. But look at this, a great move in open space. I mean, no contact on these drills, but you can make great moves like that to get open.
All right, you can take the extra point attempt from the 10-yard line. That's worth 1 point. You can back it up to the 15 and go for 2. And the Warriors, after that Fitzsimmons touchdown, will go for 1 point here. And with that, Jason, we're going to take a look at some of the other teams featured here as well. Let's take a look at the Yankton Bucks.
Yeah, Yankton, of course, winning the state title last season. Has a little bit back this year. We had a chance to catch up with Arlen Lickness as one of the teams here at Rise Above the Region.
After winning 11 games, including the South Dakota Class AA State Championship and setting the school record for the most points scored in a season, the Yankton Bucks look to have another great year. While their goals from last season won't change, their mindset might, as the Bucks graduated 21 seniors, 17 of which were starters.
We've been talking about attitude and effort, and that's what we want to see. We need attitudes in place, and we need to give effort. We need to build each other up and not tear each other down, and if we do that, we have a chance to be pretty good by the end of the year and hopefully have a chance to win some ball games during the season.
With quarterback Mason Straw graduating means it's competition time for 2 Yankton seniors, Reed Zawoski, who missed all of last season with a torn ACL, and Raiden Tursa.
Those 2 seniors are kind of fighting it out right now, and that's a good thing.
While the Bucks graduated over half of their starting roster, they are not considering this season a rebuilding year.
Well, I don't know if we can replace them as far as their talents, but we can become as good a team if we work together and play hard, and that's what we got to get these guys to buy into. That's what we're talking about, attitude and effort right now. We're not as big as we were last year, but we do have some big guys that need to get better from now till August, and if they do, that'll help us out.
All right, Jason, Yankton, as Coach Lickness, good to see Lickness in good health. He says he's feeling a lot better. He had some eye issues, but he is doing well. And the Bucks, as he said, a lot to replace from last year's championship
team. What a team they put together last year. I mean, 3 of their defensive linemen going on to play at the college level. Evan Greenway, a lot of guys up front. And, of course, their quarterback, Mason Straw, is going to be hard to replace. He doesn't get a lot of credit for as good as he was last year. But a lot of young talent in Yankton, as you know, they reload every single year. They'll have a big line once again. They'll have some guys in the backfield. I've seen some guys at the 7-on-7 drill, the 7-on-7 Rise Above the Region tournament, who have really been impressive bringing that ball down. So they might continue with that passing that they did last year for the one of the first times that they were a passing first team. They might do that again this year.
Yankton will open the season at Brookings. That'll be a good game to get things going. And Jet Thune at quarterback here for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, a senior this year, 6'3", 165 pounds.
Hey, pick it
and
up.
They've been playing a little bit of him, or a lot of him, and a little bit of his backup, Torrin Devericks, at quarterback.
Yeah, Jet Thune replaced Taryn Christian after he was injured in the Lincoln game early last season. And talking to some of the assistant coaches on Roosevelt, they secretly thought, you know what, we're not in as bad a shape as the rest of the state thinks we are without Taryn Christian. This Jet Thune can play, and he showed it all last season, driving the Riders all the way to another title game and falling just short in the championship game.
Got a good stable of receivers. Tyler Van Voorst, Austin Johnson, Braden Buller at a wide receiver spot for Jet Thune.
I think this Roosevelt team has the deepest receiving core. Jamal Al-Busaifi has done a great job in some of the summer camps this year, really impressing people. He runs about a 4.7 40. A lot of guys they can go to in this offense. What a luxury to have that many receivers. I mean, it works well in the 7-on-7, but it also works well on the field when you got a guy like Jet Thune who can really compartmentalize this game and find a lot of different guys on the field, and to know that you have all those positions covered with great athletes, I mean, that's a huge step up for Roosevelt this season.
And you see Tyson John there as the running back. Will be in the backfield with Thune again this year.
He's just a junior. He can get it done, trust me.
Well, he can take this back for 6 if they can get all the way back to the 40-yard line. And that is Sean Montalou for Washington with the interception. He's a senior.
Okay, so taking it back to the house is taking it back to the 40-yard line. And I think he just did get his foot in before Jet Thune gave him the tap. And just a miscommunication there. But he made a nice play on it. And they're talking about, is that a pick 6 or is that a 3-point interception? Because you get 3 points just for an interception, 6 if you take it all the way back to the 40.
And instincts take over. You're not supposed to be able to block, but of course everybody's going to block on the interception. So it is a 6-point interception. One of the 2 North Dakota teams here is Mandan, Jason Andera.
Yeah, they had to travel the furthest of any team. Let's take a look at their 2015 outlook.
Inconsistency plagued the Mandan Braves at the start of last season, but things were coming around by year's end. The Braves won 2 of their final 3 games and showed the potential of a good young team. This season, that experience should pay dividends, as Mandan brings back one of their most senior-heavy teams in years.
They're weight room kids, they're leadership kids, they're fundraiser kids. They're doing everything you can possibly imagine to make themselves better and to improve the team as a whole.
Jake Carlson, a big, strong-arm southpaw, is back at quarterback. He'll have his pick of potent weapons on offense. Defensively, the Braves feature a lot of depth, including a couple of all-state players.
We returned 2 all-state defensive players, and Miller and Zittelman, and who will be a 3-year contributor at middle linebacker, and Tyler Gangle, and some kids that we think are going to be really solid. Gabe Meshke at corner, and we all have some down linemen that are going to be seeing their 3rd year of competition as well.
Expect Mandan to take a step up in the competitive WDA in 2015. They kick off the season at home against Fargo South on August 28th.
All right, Jason, Mandan started 0-5 last year. They ended up the season 2-6. What about the Braves coming into 2015?
You know, this is a team that showed a lot of promise right at the end of last year. They played a lot of juniors, and this is the first time in several years that they feature an almost entire senior-heavy offensive team. Haven't had that in a long time in Mandan.
All right, the Warriors blow coverage here. That is Torrin Devericks, the backup quarterback for Roosevelt, and he finds Austin Johnson here for a touchdown.
Yeah, he just got loose right down the seam. And Torin Deverick's kind of an impressive junior. He's really thrown the ball well. They've split time between Devericks and Thune because they know what can happen to your starting quarterback. They want to have a couple guys ready. And nice job finding Austin Johnson down the middle.
Stop him here.
All right, one more note on Mandan. Their quarterback here in this 7-on-7 tournament, Jake Carlson, big 6'4" lefty. He's been very impressive.
He's been very impressive. A little bit slow on the release, but once he throws that ball, it is a beautiful ball that he throws.
He is throwing some perfect passes, Jake Carlson for Mandan. Rough Riders going to go for a 2-point conversion here from the 15-yard line.
You know, there have not been many conversions today. We've watched all these games, and it's tough to convert from the 15-yard line, let me tell you.
All right, but the Riders get on the board. It's 12-6 Washington here in the championship. And coming up next on Rise Above the Region, the Riggs Power Combine. We'll tell you what that's all about and the plays of the day here at Rise Above the Region.
This varsity sports presentation of Rise Above the Region 7-on-7 on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Riggs Premier Football Academy, and Mid-Continent Communications.